everyone, God bless you. Thank you for joining me in another video. Our topic for discussion is the characteristics of manipulators. Now, before we dive into this topic, become a YouTube subscriber to my channel. Also share, like, and drop a comment. Now, let's get into this very interesting topic of the characteristics of manipulators. When we think about manipulators or manipulation, we should think about one word, and that word is control. Their motive, their goal is to control you, to control situations, to control the outcome of things. They want to control things because they don't have a healthy way of communicating with people. They don't have a healthy way of interacting with people. They're dysfunctional in that way socially. And the only way that they know how to get their way or to express their needs and desires is by controlling others. So if you come across a manipulator, this video is to help you identify some of the key traits that these people have. Usually, time and time again, the traits that I'm going to share with you, they're going to raise their ugly heads and you're going to see it. But as always, as I've told you in other videos, I don't want you to go around being suspicious of everyone. But unfortunately, there's some unsavory people in the world, and manipulators do exist. And if you unfortunately cross paths with one, or one is in your life, I just want you to be prepared, and I want you to be able to identify things. And I don't want you to go around life thinking you're going crazy or that there's something wrong with you. It's important for us to identify things within people, especially if they're manipulators, because manipulators twist things and they try to put things on you that's really the issue is really with them and within. So I want to kind of like prepare you and to show you and to illustrate some things, some of their traits, some of their characteristics in this video. So let's get going with that. The first thing you should know about manipulators is that all manipulators are liars. They are big, colossal liars. I haven't met a manipulator yet that wasn't a liar. So the lying goes hand in hand with the manipulator. That is their key trait. I mean, these people have a PhD in distorting the truth. I mean, they withhold information, they make excuses, they are two-faced, they exaggerate. So the first key trait that you need to understand when it comes to manipulators is that they are big liars. They're impossible. It's impossible for them to tell the truth, because if you're trying to control something, what's going to happen is that you're going to try to twist things. You're going to try to twist what people say or what they have done, and you're going to try to make yourself look like the better person. And oftentimes, lies and lying works best for manipulators because it helps them to achieve their goal of control and to getting their way quicker. So you need to know that all manipulators are liars. The second thing you need to know is that this goes along with lying is that their words don't match their actions. They are very inconsistent people. Also, I find with many manipulators is that they thrive in chaos. They kind of like the chaotic environment, and they actually promote chaos in environments and in people's lives. They thrive in that stuff. But going back to the actions not matching their words, these people, they are highly inconsistent. They rarely do what they say they're going to do. They flake out very often. As I've shared in my video with jealousy, characteristics of jealous people, they also they have a way of ruining things and events, just like the jealous person. They'll show up late to very important functions or life events. There'll be a no-show when you need them. So they're very inconsistent. So sometimes they'll be there and oftentimes not. But just know that their words, when they say they're going to do something, usually they don't do it. So their words don't match their actions. The next thing is they are masters of guilt tripping. That is one of their key and top tools of destruction, of manipulation, is to make you feel guilty about saying no to something, especially if you're saying no to something that they're asking that's unreasonable. So they want to make you feel guilty about it. And I find often what manipulators will do, they'll volunteer to do things for you. Oh, do you need help with this thing or with that thing? Or they'll try to appear as helpful. So they'll throw it. So they'll have that in their arsenal to throw in your face when they're trying to get something out of you. Well, they say, well, remember that time I helped you with that event, or remember that time I helped you move, or remember that time I took care of you when you were sick. So they love to make you feel ashamed. They love to make you feel guilty. When you say no, that is one of their main tools of manipulation, so they can get you to do what they want you to do. So they'll use shame, they'll use guilt, and they're masters at it. And now another thing is that goes along with that is that they are masters at keeping score. So if they do something for you, if it's helpful, if they think that it's something that they could use later on against you, they're just keeping little tabs. So they don't just do things for people just to do things. It's always a means to an end, and there's always some sort of hidden agenda behind it. So be careful with that. So they guilt trip a lot. Also, you need to know, here's another characteristic, is that they're bullies. Manipulators are big bullies. They're emotional bullies, they're psychological bullies, and they're also control freaks. So if you feel like someone is strong arming you and pressuring you to do something you don't want to do, they'll just outright try to control, try to bogart, try to have their way with you through verbally or even physically. So you got to know that these people are bullies. They will use intimidation to get their way. So that's one of the key things that they have in their arsenal that's weaponized against you, is the bullying. And also controlling everything and trying to be on top of everything and try to move all the pieces on a board. That is what they do. So also know that manipulators, they're bullies. The next important thing is that, or kind of like the opposite side of that, is that they love to play the victim. Oh my goodness, they tend to play the victim often. And nothing is ever their fault. They'll blame you. They even blame you for their behavior. So they play a lot of mind games. So they like to be the victim. They like to twist things. They like being in a position of woe is me, or the world is against me. Look how you're treating me. And they'll use victimization of them being the victim, or them getting you to feel sorry for them to get their way. Or they'll use language like you're always doing this to me, or you're all like very definitive or very concrete proclamations, like you're always doing this, or you always say that, or you never help me out. Victim mentality. So they'll use victimization, or try to put themselves in a position where you look like the bad guy and they look like the person who has been under distress and the person who is getting the raw end of the deal, but really they're the ones who are controlling the situation. So they often play victim. And the next and last thing that I kind of like want to share, now these are just the top things that I've seen, but there's other things that come out with manipulators, is that they have, what you have to understand about a manipulator is that they have no real desire to have authentic communication with people, or to have really honest relationship. So this is how they roll. This is how they operate. You're not going to get a real person. You're not going to get to see the real them. They're not going to be vulnerable with you. So they have no need to be authentic with people. If you're trying to change a manipulator, to get a real, get some substance out of your relationship, or get to see the real them, they're not going to show it, because many manipulators are incapable of, being vulnerable. They're incapable of, interacting and communicating people and expressing themselves in a healthy way to get what they want. I mean, there's ways to get what you want in a healthy way, but they get what they want in an unhealthy way, and it usually causes a lot of collateral damage, and it usually hurts people and destroys lives. So just know that people don't change until they're ready to change. Change is we usually see change by a change or a pattern of change in behavior over time. So if you don't see those things, these are people that you don't need to have around you. These are people that you need to avoid. And, you know, that goes to, I'll get to that a little bit later, you know, the things that we can do to help ourselves out if we are in a relationship with a manipulator, or we work with a manipulator, or we have to deal with a manipulator on, you know, or we just encounter one. Just, you know, let's say you're going to buy a big ticket item and you have maybe a salesperson that's very manipulative and they're trying to get you to buy something you don't need, and spend a lot of money, and you know, and they're pressuring you to do that. So there are manipulators that come in all forms, you know, along the spectrum of, you know, less harmful and very, very harmful to downright extremely dangerous. So I want to leave you with, before I close, just the main weapons of manipulators, so you can be able to identify them if you come across one. And, you know, the weapons, some of the weapons are lying, denial, fear, gaslighting, passive aggressive behavior, the silent treatment. That's a big one, that silent treatment. And also recruiting others to help with the manipulation. They also do that. They get others, they manipulate others to team up on you, to join in on a fun, or not so much fun for you, but it's actually a terrible form of abuse. But it's fun for them. They thrive on that. Like I said, they thrive on chaos too. So they get people, they recruit folks to join in, to make your life miserable, and to manipulate you and to gaslight you, and you feel like you're crazy. You feel like, you know, they'll just try to distort your reality, make you feel bad about yourself, or make you feel bad about, you know, rejecting something that, you know, that they're kind of like forcing you to do, especially if it's something that could be, you know, harmful to yourself. So, you know, those are the things to watch out for, the main things. And so I just want to leave you with a couple of some encouragement as I close this video, and just a couple of things. So what you need to do when you're dealing with manipulators, two things, main things you need to do. You must set boundaries. You have to set boundaries. The thing about it is, like, once a manipulator has taken advantage of you, they're going to continue to do it until you stop it. Like, they're not going to stop. Once they know that they can get what they want out of you, whether it's money, whether it's to get you to do things, whether it's to use you in some form or fashion, or just to play head games with you, whatever they need to get out of that interaction with you, that they're doing it in an abusive way, just know that they're going to continue to do it once you have let them put the foot in the door and gave them a little leeway to do these things. So just know that you have to set strong and hard boundaries, especially when you have identified the characteristics that I had illustrated earlier, and you get to see, okay, I might be dealing with a manipulator. At that point, you have to draw the line. At that point, you're going to have to create some distance. At that point, you're going to have to be firm in what you believe and what you say and do. Let your yeses be yeses and your nos be nos, and be firm with that, and don't be led astray. Don't let anybody turn you to the left or to the right. So you must set boundaries. And the second and last thing is that you must assert and know your rights. These are the rights that we have as human beings, and always remember this. And you have to remember your rights if you come across a manipulator. Just know and understand that you have the right to be treated with respect. You have the right to express your feelings, opinions, and wants. You have the right to set your own priorities. You have the right to say no without feeling guilty. You have the right to get what you pay for. You have the right to have a different opinion from others. You have the right to take care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. You have a right to protect yourself. And lastly, you have the right to create a happy, healthy, joyous, and peaceful life. Do not let anybody rob you of your rights. Anyway, that is all I wanted to share with you. Hopefully this video has been a blessing to your life. If you like the video, share it. Please share it. Subscribe to my channel. I appreciate everybody tuning in, watching this video. God bless you. I pray all the best for you in your life, and I hope that things do get better, and they will. I trust that they will. Have hope, keep faith, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. God bless.